S24 Rundown. I am Zainab Ibrahim, and here's our news in brief. Of the Nigerian Army's 33 Artillery Brigade operating under Operation Wutandaji carried out a coordinated clearance mission in Kumbodoro Forest and nearby villages in Bauchi State, where they successfully neutralized several bandits and dismantled their camps. The operation, supported by the air component, targeted key hideouts, including the notorious Azuge camps, significantly weakening the criminals' ability to operate and threaten local communities. During the raid, 8 kidnapped victims were rescued from the bandit enclaves. Still with the military, the Nigerian military has denied allegations that it is arming either active or repentant Boko Haram fighters, describing the claims as false, misleading and unfounded. The clarification followed the circulation of a viral video showing a foreign vlogger interacting with individuals in what was alleged to be a rehabilitation center where some appeared to be carrying weapons. Reacting to the video, the coordinator of Operation Safe Corridor, Brigadier General Yusuf Ali, said the footage had been misrepresented and did not reflect the true nature of the program. Also, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has pledged federal support for the families of 11 security personnel killed in a bandit attack in Shanga local government area of Kebbi State, represented by Vice President Kashim Shettima during a condolence visit to Birnin Kebbi. The president expressed deep sympathy over the tragic incident, describing the killings as a barbaric act, while commending the bravery and sacrifice of the fallen officers. In another story, ahead of Nigeria's 2027 general election, the European Union stepped up efforts to boost women's participation in politics through a high-level strategic meeting held in Abuja. The meeting, organized in collaboration with groups such as the Policy and Legal Advocacy Center and the Nigeria Women Trust Fund, brought together key stakeholders, including lawmakers, civil society actors, and development partners to assess progress on gender inclusion and discuss strategies for improving women's representation. Delegates of the African Democratic Congress ADC from across Nigeria's 36 states and the Federal Capital Territory have overwhelmingly ratified the National Working Committee led by former Senate President David Mark during the party's national convention held in Abuja. In addition to the leadership ratification, the convention also witnessed the expulsion of several party members over alleged anti-party activities, including Nafiu Bala and House of Representative member Leke Abejide. Reports from the convention further indicated moments of tension and disagreement among some faction-led delegates, with disputes over leadership legitimacy and party direction briefly disrupting proceedings before order was restored and the resolution were adopted. Finally, on the international scene, Pakistan Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif has begun a 4-day diplomatic tour to Saudi Arabia, Qatar and Turkey as part of efforts to revive dialogue between the United States and Iran. According to Pakistan's Foreign Ministry, the visit scheduled from April 15 to 18 includes bilateral engagements with Saudi Arabia and Qatar, while in Turkey, Sharif will attend the Antalya Diplomacy Forum and hold meetings with President Recep Tayyip Erdogan and other global leaders. Moving on now to our next segment, which is Business News with Hadiza Galadima. Let's hold on for Hadiza.
Thank you, Zainab. Good afternoon and welcome. And this is your business update for today. As the midweek trading session kicks off, we are tracking significant shifts in the domestic equity market, a resilient but pressured naira, and a sobering outlook for the global economy as energy prices remain volatile. Here are today's top stories. In a landmark movement for Nigerian exchange, Guinness Nigeria PLC has officially crossed the 1 trillion naira market capitalization threshold. The surge followed an 18-month rally fueled by the company's transition to a new financial year and a return to significant profitability, posting a net profit of over 41 billion naira. This milestone reflects a broader bargain hunting trend on the Nigerian exchange, which saw investors gain approximately 1.36 trillion naira in the last week alone. And the naira opened the day at 1,352.25 naira against the dollar in the official Nigeria foreign exchange market, while the official window shows signs of stabilization due to the recent central bank's intervention. The parallel market continues to see a premium, with the greenback trading between 1,460 naira and 1,485 naira. Analysts suggest that while foreign reserves are at a healthy $45.5 billion, persistent demand for education and energy-related imports continues to put pressure on the local currency. And over to beneficiaries of the Enterprise Development Center's recent pitch competition have issued a fresh appeal to the federal government for improved credit facilities. As food inflation remains a stubborn driver of the national CPI, recently recorded at 12.12%, despite a dip in headline inflation to 15.06%. Small-scale processors argue that high interest rates on commercial loans are stifling the growth of the value chain needed to ensure long-term food security. And finally, on the global scene, the International Monetary Fund, IMF, have officially downgraded its 2026 global growth forecast to 3.1%, citing the escalating economic fallout from the conflict in the Middle East. Chief economist Pierre-Olivier Gorensage warned that the closure of these key routes and the subsequent 19% raise in energy prices are fueling a new wave of global inflation. The IMF now expects global inflation to hit 4.4% this year, up from the previous projections, potentially forcing central banks to hold planned interest rate cuts. That's your business update for today. Stay with us as we dive deeper into the headlines. Up next, we will go into our newspaper review segment with Zainab Ibrahim and Abubakar Turaki, who are standing by to break down the front pages. After the break, we will be right back. Do stay with us.
Welcome back from that break, and up next is our newspaper review, of course, with Abubakar Turaki. Hello, Abubakar.
Hello, Zainab.
Good to see you again.
Thank you, Zainab.
So, moving on straight forward to the business of today, we have Daily Trust. On Daily Trust, our headline says, ADC expels Nafiu Bala, Abije unveil next move. What would you say about this takara from ADC?
It will be very difficult for ADC not to take the necessary decision and action, because for the past 3 to 2 weeks, there has been an intense internal squabble. And yesterday, the ADC were able to have their own national convention here. So after the national convention, they came up with a necessary decision by expelling the faction of Nafiu Bala. That simply means Nafiu Bala is no longer a member of ADC, due to some reasons that they outlined.
What are these reasons?
They say that Nafiu Bala is a member of ADC based on contractocracy.
But ultimately, I think all of those allegations were called allegedly.
Well, recently,
were they confirmed?
I was opportune to speak to one of the ADC members. I spoke to him, and he categorically told me that what Nafiu Bala showed was based on political contractocracy. He was hired, and they were even alleging that Nafiu Bala, a sum of 2 billion naira was given to him, and some escort were bestowed upon Nafiu Bala in order for him to come and do the contract that he has signed. That was an allegation from the member of the ADC. We don't even have any factual evidence to back that, but as a member of the ADC, that is exactly what he told me.
I think it's already stands because we're hearing this from a member of ADC, like you say. I think it was in the interview you had with the ADC member. So it's a good thing that ADC are coming out to cut down any improper engagement at early stage. It shows that in the party, nobody is above the law.
Of course, nobody is above the law, and this is to tell you maybe ADC are now trying to play their card well, because if they can be able to put their house in order by taking such decision, I believe maybe they have something to offer to Nigerians. I'm not campaigning for ADC, but we are trying to analyze the scenario based on what we see on ground. And from all indication, we are the citizens, of course, as parameters to make our own comparison and analysis between the ADC and the ruling party and some other opposition political parties.
Okay, so sorry, it's like I cut you short.
And I also want to reiterate to you, based on the ADC convention yesterday, the crowd was actually gigantic. And it was really gigantic, and it was after that ADC convention, the ADC are going to make it clear on who is going to get what, when, where, and how. Because it is after the convention, I think in few days, the ADC are going to schedule their primaries. Are they either going for a direct primaries, or are they either going for a consensus? And from there, Nigerians will start to play their card. It is from there we will see where ADC are going to join their presidential ticket. Is it in the south? Is it in the north? Or whatsoever. It is only after this.
So very soon we'll be getting a big news from ADC.
A politicking is going to take place in Nigeria, a very astonishing politicking, because this is the political party that is trying to win the heart of Nigerians and is going to go into a battle with the ruling party. And we all know how power of incumbency is in most of the African politics.
If anything, ADC is one party that I'm curious about who is going to be their leading candidate, and I can't wait to hear from you.
It's going to be very difficult for ADC after their primaries.
Very difficult, and that's why we are very curious about what decision they will make at the end of the day.
Well, let us all hope and let us all be optimistic and pray. And maybe I believe after the ADC primaries, and things may get better in Nigeria.
Because at the end of the day, for people who are serious, it wouldn't be because of the party.
Interest, the interest of Nigerians.
The individuals picked
and
for
recently
the
I saw
so
one.
they have to be very wise when picking candidates. They have to be very wise,
of course. And recently I'm not sure of what I saw, but let me just cut from there. There are some interviews granted by Peter Obi. Peter Obi was alleging, saying that if ADC did not bestow him with the presidential flag bearer of that party, definitely there's going to be another faction. Maybe we may still see another mass political exodus.
Oh, interesting. So we can't wait to hear the big news from ADC anyway. So still on Daily Trust front page, we have, despite bail, Nasir remain in custody. I know you've been craving to talk about this. Why is Madam Nasir still in custody after bail? Before that, let me ask you. Okay, just speak.
Zainab, the continued detention of former governor of Kaduna State, based on one Professor Usman Yusuf said, it is totally undemocratic, and he called it illegal. I'm borrowing from what Professor Usman said. And, it will be very difficult for a public servant here in Nigeria to serve, and after his service, immediately when he hand over, there's going to be a series of invitations from the anti-graft agency. Because Malam Nasir, when he was in Egypt, he made it clear that once if he come back to Nigeria, there is going to be a kind of a political is going to take place. And immediately when Nasir landed in Nigeria, we have seen the scenario that took place between the DSS. And after that, we have seen the scenario that happened between him and the EFCC. And after that, on his way, he was apprehended by the ICPC.
We've all talked about
and this is to tell you, this is to verify.
But for this bill, Abubakar, there were conditions. I know you know those conditions,
Yes.
and I would like you to mention them.
Okay, the condition is that they bar him from making any public interview with any media, and he have to bring a shwati, and also 200 million naira, and he's not going anywhere. He's going to stay in Nigeria.
So if we're complaining about Malam Nasir El-Rufai not being released after this bill, has he met those conditions? Have we confirmed that those conditions have been met?
You know, Zainab, in Hausa there is a saying that says Sharia sabanin hankali. You know, sometimes Malam Nasir may actually prescribe to that condition, but maybe if he did not fulfill, or if he did not amicably fulfill that condition, he may likely not have that bail. But let us keep on seeing what the law may say. And also, many Nigerians are calling on this government that the fight against corruption in this present administration, it is political. Yes. The reason why I say it is political...
yes, that goes to my next question, because I want to say that apart from the huge amount of money...
Yes.
Is it possible for Madam Nasir El-Rufai not to grant any interview? Is that a total... Is that a total silence?
No, this is, I don't think, I know Malam Nasiru based on his theoretical publication, because he wrote a book, Accidental Public Servant, when he was actually the Minister of FCT. I go through the book. I think I studied the book more than twice. Based on what Malam Nasiru wrote in that book, I believe Malam Nasiru is not the kind of person that you will silence him. Because if we could remember, and after 2007, former President Olusegun Obasanjo wanted to go for third term. Malam Nasir went to his office and told him that...
So in the nutshell, you believe Malam Nasir El-Rufai is not someone to be silenced?
Of course, of course.
Okay, maybe that's why
Of course, yeah, of course.
So, moving on to our final...
I'm sorry, Zainab.
So, sorry, we need to round up my session. It says, Mark Atiku Aregbesola tackle Tinubu on hardship. A lot of citizens have been tackling the administration for the level of hardship we're experiencing in Nigeria. But for his individuals who are tackling Tinubu, I hope they're not politically...
Zainab, from the inception of Nigeria, since before the coming of colonialism, during colonialism and post-colonialism, our politicians have been using the same campaign slogan, the same campaign gimmick, and the same campaign shenanigans. I saw a paper, I think Gaskiya Ta Fikobo, one of the northern newspapers, that was during the time of Shagari. Shagari was saying to Nigerians that if you grant me the opportunity to lead you, I'm going to make power stable. Currently, we are in the Fourth Republic, and the president have actually campaigned on that thing. So all those what politicians are saying, they are just trying, you know, Nigerians politicians are smart.
We're not talking about what the politicians are saying or the hardship that the administration is causing. We're talking about the people that are tackling the administration for hardship.
Zainab, if you are talking of hardship, former vice president, was he not in government?
Exactly.
Aregbesola, was he not a minister?
Exactly.
Was he not an executive governor of Osun?
I'm grateful we are not on the same page on one conversation, because these people were in power before.
We're in power.
So out to tackle an administration for not doing what they should have done in the past.
They are just using it as a tool. And you know, sometimes the perception with most Nigerians politicians is, when I'm not in power, nobody is perfect than I. That is the true picture, because we have seen a situation whereby a politician came here and campaigned to Nigeria, and he promised to lift 100 million Nigerians out of poverty, while he pushed more into poverty.
Easier said than done.
We are living in a community where politicians will promise you paradise. Once they assume the mantle of leadership, they will unleash hell.
It's become worse than the situation.
And this is to tell you our level of political socialization, our level of political understanding, our level of political orientation is low.
Abakar, I'm so sorry, but I would like to draw the curtain here and move to our next segment. And we'll be moving over to S24. I think we'll be having this discussion separately from this news rundown. So our next segment, of course, coming to you after the break, is S24 Report. Stay with us. In Nigeria, conversations around leadership are shifting, placing young people at the center of governance and national development. At the Abuja Dialogue Summit, young leaders, policymakers, and government officials come together to shape the future. The platform focuses on leadership development, civic responsibility, and bridging the gap between institutions and the next generation. Through panel discussions and interactive sessions, participants gain insight into how governance works and the role within it. Stakeholders are calling for more initiatives like this across the country, expanding access and empowering more young Nigerians. Because Nigeria's future depends not just on tomorrow's leaders, but on how well they're prepared today.
Welcome back from that break, and this is Political Arena. My name is Abubakar Shraki. Politics is the authoritative allocation of value of who get what, when, where, and how. The African Democratic Congress held a national convention in Abuja, bringing together party leaders and stakeholders to deliberate on strategy, internal cohesion, and its position ahead of the future election. The convention is seen as a critical moment for the party as it seeks to expand its political footprint and strengthen its relevance in Nigerian evolving political landscape ahead of 2027 general election. To have this conversation, I am joined by Ibrahim Habibu Suleiman, a member of ADC. Ibrahim, welcome to Political Arena.
Thank you for having me, Madam Bakar.
Yes. Yesterday, your party, the ADC, held its national convention. So,
yeah, exactly.
What does that convention mean to you as a member of ADC?
Not just to me as a member of the ADC, but to Nigeria's democracy in general. And if I see to Nigeria's democracy in general, I mean to the whole African democracy, because every country that is practicing democracy in Africa, is looking up to Nigeria. So Nigeria's democracy build up the democracy of the whole continent. Okay. The Congress or convention, that we had yesterday, kind of give a hope that democracy has come to stay in this country. Despite all the challenges that we face, we have been able to run a kind of a successful convention yesterday where we kind of cement the kind of national escorts of the party.
There was an allegation and that the ADC wanted to use the Eagle Square and Abuja National Stadium. How legit is that?
Exactly. The party wrote to the relevant authorities requesting for the venue, which is the Eagle Square, which is a place known for events like this, and the alternative, because we know if the Eagle Square is not available for event of such magnitude, the National Stadium used to be an alternative, and all the requests were not being even responded. There wasn't any response up until the late hours from the relevant authorities, definitely to the minister, because the later must got to him before the approval of such.
But he came out and rejected that allegation.
But we have a copies of letters written to him and an acknowledgement written to gotten from the office of the minister. So it was written to him, and you can see it going all over the social media that a letter was being submitted for such a request. And one thing that will kind of prove to you that something like this was being done is that the very venue, we even rented a private space, event center that we even rented, which is the Rainbow Event Center in the central area in Garki area 8, was the owner of the very event center was later being threatened, and he called some of the committee members and told them that this thing is not going to hold. After we've signed an agreement, make the payment, and receipt of payment were being received.
That is a business venture. Maybe
exactly.
He gotten another offer.
No. He was threatened that his own license will be revoked.
Was there any fact to back that thing up?
There are facts, because himself, the workers at the event center, all of them run. They locked down the power alternative station in that very place. And then the AEDC cut the power supply to that event center. We have to provide another source of power, which is a mobile power source to that very event center. And if you watch the video of the event, you realize that many of us were kind of suffocating in that event center. Many were using a hand fan, some were using handkerchiefs to clear their sweat. It was very, very difficult for us, but we stood our ground because we really want to ensure that we sustain democracy in this country. So that was what actually happened. So with all this, you will believe with me that the APC is still threatened by the influence and the momentum the ADC is having.
Most of the members of the ADC were one time among the ruling party. Don't you think that maybe this is now the right time for the ruling party, as you allege that they are the one financing all this that is happening in the ADC? Don't you think that maybe it's just a kind of, you know, sometimes they say one good time deserves another. When they were in power, they did the same, and now they are in the opposition, and they are experiencing the same, and most of them are lamenting that.
All right, Mala Abakar, let me respond to that very question with facts. And reasonable facts. Most of us, let me say, most of us were in the APC in 2013 when the APC got formed, and there was a kind of momentum, a direction that we had at that time that the PDP was going south, and we need to kind of bring about sanity in the political space. That was the reason why the APC was being formed at that time, where some parties like the ACN, parties like the ANPP and the CPC, and some part of PDP came together to do what we call merger at that time, because what we're having now is a coalition. So we formed the merger because we have a kind of a direction. We want to change the way the international or the global stage is looking at Nigeria's democracy, the way the international stage is looking at Nigeria's leadership. So let us have a kind of a sanity in our own political space. We did that, and Buhari emerged to be the candidate of the APC. That was in 2015. And then that was in 2014 because the congresses happened and conventions in 2014, and the election, I think, in February in 2015. That was how Buhari became the president of this country. And later on, after Buhari, we thought that very momentum, even though there were challenges with the Buhari administration at that time, but still, Buhari was still maintaining the sanity and giving the other political parties a space to breathe. Thank you very much. But what is happening today? It is right from the first day this government came into power, they started taking a different 29 May of 2023. They started taking a different dimension, going contrary to the set principles and kind of achievable goals being put in place by the APC. So many of them think we can't continue with what is going on. Look at what, I think you watch the podcast between Sheun Akimbalowe and Zainab Bubagaladima. She said that things are not going right. And everybody has been complaining that we should...
Maybe now Zainab is in the opposition.
No, she has been there before she left for the position like any other person. So I'm trying to let you know that everybody that left to the ADC realizes that what the APC is doing or where the APC is going is totally not the actual coordinate or the actual direction that the APC was being set to go. So they must have to change route. You can't follow a sinking ship into,
Sulaiman,
yes.
ADC, PDP, APC, and other political parties in Nigeria.
Yeah.
What does ADC stand different?
Internal democracy.
With the presence of Nafi Wala faction and David Matt faction?
Whenever you mention or whenever I heard of that name coming up, what comes to me is a kind of, because it sounds like a story, kind of, how would I call it? What Hausa people call Jasunia. I don't know, you know what. So actually, it sounds very funny for me. Somebody who can neither read nor write, because That's how I see Nafi Bala. A written document.
Neither can read or write.
He cannot, yes, we know the people that write for him. We know how they kind of pitch and train him on how to read. And you will bear me witness, when he was reading at the INEC office, when they were protesting, you will bear me witness that it was very, very laughable how somebody who claimed to be a chairman of a national party is reading, like a primary three pupil reading on a stage, on an international stage. It's very funny. So how can you take somebody like this serious?
So you mean what Nafi showcased was just a political contract?
He was just hired to kind of how will I say, ridicule himself on the public space.
Okay, so what will be a benefit to Nafi if he destabilizes ADC?
This is something you know, but since we are on the TV show, let me put it this way. You know, the way and level of corruption in this country, you know, corruption can give you so many things.
Okay, before we call it a day.
So let me tell you, let me round up. You won't ask me a question and shut me up. Let me tell you, so many people in this country have no integrity. The money can buy them. If you give them money, they can do anything.
Well, this is your word, I guess.
Exactly, it's my own word. Exactly.
Okay, before we call it a day, what should Nigerians expect after the National Convention? I mean, as a member of ADC, where is ADC going to zone its own presidential ticket? Is it in the south or is it in the north?
Well, like I said earlier, internal democracy is what defines the ADC. So we are going to ensure, yes, we're going to ensure.
You have been reiterating that there is an internal democracy in the ADC, but for the past 3 weeks, we have been seeing the political rigmarole that have been happening.
With Nafi Bala?
With Nafi Bala.
Well, Nafi Bala is just one person. I want to remind you that we have the vice chairman south, the vice chairman north, and we have 6 deputy chairmen. Nafi Bala is just one of them.
So you mean your party is in order?
Very order. Most especially now, a well-cemented political party, a well-stormed that can uproot.
And you are willing to give Nigerians the benefit of doubt. And you are willing to do the needful in Nigeria.
I think one thing you forgot, or one thing you're not getting right, is that ADC is the Nigerians' party. I hope you understand. It's the identity of the Nigerian people. The Nigerian people have sided with the ADC and take the ADC as their own representation, a kind of a representation in the ballot of the next election.
Okay, Suleiman Ibrahim, that is all you can have on Political Arena.
Thank you very much.
That is all we have on Political Arena. Stay tuned for S24 documentary and S24 report.
Kindly take us through the way Nigerians will understand what you do, the core of CAC mandates, and then other things that we necessarily do not know.
Thank you, Halima.
Welcome.
Actually, CAC were a creation of law. You are aware that in the year 2020, the National Assembly has passed a law called Company and Allied Matters Act.
KAMA.
Call it KAMA.
Yes.
It's famous in KAMA 2020. This is what created Corporate Affairs Commission. Corporate Affairs Commission is saddled with the responsibility of registering businesses as one of the areas that we have been known for. We're registering what we call companies. Company includes company limited liability, company we call public companies. We also registered what we call the company limited by guarantee.
Yes.
These are the category of companies Corporate Affairs Commission register. And beyond that, we register what we call business name. Business name, in other climate, they call it sole proprietorship and other things. It's a business name for small scale businesses. And we also register incorporated trustees. Incorporated trustees is known as foundations, organizations,
NGOs.
and other things, where churches, mosques, association got themselves, recognized by law through that incorporation of incorporated trustees. This is just a mere aspect of registration that we do. This is just one aspect out of the 109 products that CAC renders to the public.
109 products.
109 products. Our main aim is to facilitate businesses at ease in Nigeria. So to facilitate businesses. Recall that business registration was manual 35 years ago when CAC started in 1991, when CAC started at Area 11. It is a manual all over Nigeria. You have to come down to Area 11, manually verify the name, searches whether the name is available for you to register and all this. Here we are. To make things easy, everything is digital in the Corporate Affairs Commission. And beyond digital now, Corporate Affairs Commission is AI-driven. And fortunately enough, I received a guest from the Pakistan Corporate Registry. They came down to study our AI-powered portal, how we do it, how we achieve it, because in the globe now, we are one of the pioneers in terms of the issue of embedding AI in our activities. So real time where you found corporate activities, AI-driven now, CAC is one of the registry in the world that actually, incorporated artificial intelligence. That's why we have delegation from the Pakistan. Yeah, they came to Nigeria now. They're learning. We're exporting knowledge. They're exporting. This is leadership. This is where we are. Nigeria Corporate Affairs Commission is on the rise, and by implication, the Nigeria is on the rise.
Most Nigerians know CAC as just the place for registration, but you've mentioned or framed CAC as national catalyst for trust and ease of doing business. In plain terms, what are those other things that you do in the CAC apart from business registration that we all know?
The essence of registration is to have yourself doing legitimate business.
Yeah.
You can't be doing a legitimate business without having a registration.
Yeah.
So you must register your businesses to carry out your business legally. And above all, to create identity for your business, you must register with the Corporate Affairs Commission. So it's not about registering with Corporate Affairs Commission or get CAC certificate. Your company status matters. We have what we call filing of annual returns. Annual returns is a yearly activity for any name registered by the Corporate Affairs Commission. If you have a business name, or you have a company, or you have an association registered with the Corporate Affairs Commission, the status of your registration matters. You have to maintain filing of annual returns to have it active in our portal. Otherwise, you will flag inactive. And by implication, you have been flagged at the security points that something fishy is ongoing in your registration. You must ensure that you make your company or your registration active. Be updating your record every year. And this is what we call post-registration activity of the Corporate Affairs Commission. This is where we roll out so many products where our customers can consume such products digitally at ease, anywhere you are, 24/7. That is anytime you can consume such services. You can do it through our accredited agents, and you can do it by yourself if you are technology savvy. Yes. For instance, if you happen to register with the Corporate Affairs Commission today to carry out POS business, and you decided to change that business to another thing, you have changed the line of business. At the end of the year or next year, you are expected to tell the Corporate Affairs Commission that you changed the line of business.
And it doesn't affect the business name.
It doesn't affect the business name. It's just to be updating your record. That is, your company status matters. Beyond that, you have getting a partner who is ready to inject his fund in your business. You have getting additional director, or you have getting additional partner to do the business with it. You have to update your record by filing of annual returns. If you change address from particular place to another place, you have to file that record. It's another process that we do. So if you don't do that in the corporate affairs sector, if you don't do that, that means you have not filed your annual returns. And if you don't have filed your annual returns, automatically in our portal, your business will be now showing inactive. That's, you have closed yourself the chances, the opportunities, because anyone that wants to do business with you will come through KYC to find out, because our portal is now simplified in such a way that anyone can go to our portal, www.cac.gov.ng, there and then you see a space that you put that name, particular name, you search. It will show you that company, don't do business with it. It will show you it's active. That means it's clean. You can go ahead and transact business with. If it has not shown, it have shown you inactive, it's a red flag. Run away, because he may be doing something that you don't know.
Illegal.
He may be because it's already under security watch. Our portal is so integrated with all the security agencies. While your business is showing inactive, automatically you have been flagged for security watch. You are either doing kidnapping with the company, that business, that's the implication, or you are into illicit financial transactions, or you are doing money laundering or other things. So to make yourself active in our portal, make your business standing, file your annual returns as at when due.
Welcome back now to technology, innovation, and the digital world with me, Gladys Emmanuel. Nigeria is rolling out the Blackboard LMS nationwide to digitize higher education, enabling hybrid learning and better academic monitoring. Over 2 million students and lecturers are already using the system, marking a major step toward a more data-driven and accessible education system. Professionals are also being encouraged to develop IT skills such as AI, cybersecurity, and data analytics as digital transformation accelerates globally. Certifications from companies like Microsoft and Cisco are becoming increasingly important for staying competitive in the evolving ICT job markets. These highlight the growing need for continuous learning as technology continues to reshape careers worldwide. And finally, on the global space, the ongoing Middle East conflict is influencing global markets and affecting economic stability and growth prospects in Nigeria. The International Monetary Fund, IMF, has also cautioned that global tensions could weaken Nigeria's economic performance in 2026 due to inflation and disruptions in trade. Also, security experts are warned that advanced AI-powered tools are now being used to detect and exploit system vulnerabilities at very high speed, making cyber attacks more automated and difficult to stop. Also, governments, financial institutions, and major businesses across the world are increasingly exposed to these evolving threats. As a result, cybersecurity agencies are calling for stronger global cyber defense systems to protect critical infrastructure and sensitive data. And that is it on ICT World. Shukura Onige is on standby with the entertainment update after the break.
Hello and welcome back from that break. This is your entertainment news roundup. We begin in Nigeria's buzzing celebrity scene, where what was meant to calm tension has ignited fresh drama. Music executive Soso Soberekan hosted a last-minute mediation between street pop artist Portable and comedian-turned-entertainer Kata Ife ahead of their much-anticipated May 1 celebrity boxing match. However, the meeting quickly spiraled out of control. Eyewitnesses report shouting, pushing, and near physical confrontation both indoors and by the poolside. Viral video circulating online shows Portable visibly agitated and shirtless, directing his frustration at influencer Tunde Perry, reportedly shouting, "Wahala." An overwhelming Soberekan reportedly stormed out of his own residence as tension reached a boiling point. While no injuries or arrests were recorded, the chaotic encounter has only intensified public anticipation for their showdown at the Balmoral Convention Center. Adding fuel to the moment, music star Olamide took to social media with cryptic reaction, joking one carried bottle, the other one carried cane. From celebrity clashes to luxury craftsmanship, a Lagos-based shoemaker is making headline with a price tag that has everyone talking. Designer Nelden is redefining luxury footwear with his latest creation, the Force of Nature loafers, valued at staggering 25 million naira. The bespoke piece comes with a certificate of exclusivity and a fully personalized delivery experience tailored to the buyer's exact specification. Nowdens compares its craftsmanship to that of high-end designer Sheyi Fodi, emphasizing precision, uniqueness, and attention to detail. But reactions have been sharply divided. While some Nigerians applaud the bold ambition and the growth of a local luxury market, others question the pricing, especially when contrasted with the country's 70,000 naira minimum wage. On social media, opinions range from admiration to outright skepticism, with some critics even poking fun at the promotional campaign. And now to the international scene, controversial rapper Kanye West is once again at the center of the international headlines. French officials are reportedly seeking to block a planned concert in Marseille following a recent ban that prevented him from entering the United Kingdom for a summer festival performance. The situation continues to raise questions about the rapper's global tour prospects and ongoing controversies. In another international entertainment news, Hollywood stars Sandra Bullock and Nicole Kidman thrilled fans with a surprise reunion at CinemaCon in Las Vegas. The duo appeared on stage at Caesars Palace to unveil the first teaser for Practical Magic 2, the sequel to their beloved 1998 film. Sharing laughs and a nostalgic embrace, they confirmed the movie's release date as September 11, 2026, with returning cast members and new additions, including Joey King. In another exciting development, Bullock officially joined Instagram, quickly amassing over 3.6 followers within hours. She delighted fans by engaging directly online, commenting, "Oh, we are so back," on Kidman's post, a moment that has only heightened anticipation for the sequel. And that's your entertainment news roundup. Up next is Sport News with Marta, coming to you after the break.
Hello and welcome to your sport update, where we bring you the biggest stories from football and athletics. We start in the Premier League, where Liam Rosinho is under pressure at Chelsea FC after a poor run of results that is putting their Champions League hopes at risk. Chelsea have lost 3 league matches in a row without scoring a goal, showing clear problems in attack and a lack of consistency at a key point in the season. Their push for a top 4 finish is now in danger as they continue to struggle for goals and confidence. Rosinho, who started his time at the club on a positive note, is now facing growing criticism as fans call for improvements. However, there is still hope that the team can recover if they quickly improve in their attacking performance. Next, in international football, goalkeeper Maduka Okoye is now looking forward to a fresh start after being recalled to the Super Eagles setup. Okoye says he's motivated and focused on reclaiming his place in the team, describing his return as an opportunity to prove himself once again on the international stage. The shortstopper also reflected on his time away from the squad, insisting it helped him grow mentally and professionally. His comeback adds more competition in goal as the Super Eagles prepare for fixed fixtures ahead. In cricket, Foundation Cricket Club is celebrating a major milestone after marking its 40th anniversary. The club brought together past and present players in a celebration of its long-standing contribution to grassroots cricket development. Over the past 4 decades, Foundation Cricket Club has built a reputation for nurturing talents and promoting the game within its community. Officials say the anniversary is not just a celebration of history, but also a renewed commitment to developing young players and strengthening the future of the sports. And finally, on today's sports updates, in rugby, World Cup winner Ellie Kilden has opened up about her personal struggle with body dysmorphic disorder. Kilden revealed that despite achieving success on the world stage, she has battled deep insecurities about her appearance. Her honesty has sparked conversations around mental health in elite sports, highlighting the hidden pressures athletes face beyond performance. She says speaking out is part of her efforts to encourage openness and support for others going through similar challenges. And that's it, a sports update. Moving on next is Pidgin News with Siddiqat Yusuf after the break.
Una welcome, my people. May we carry today Naija story from Bauchi reach KB. On top military matter, we go chook hand for ADC matter small, come finish am for Obodo Igbo. Naija soldiers will join for Nigerian Army 33 Artillery Brigade, where they under Operation Wutandaji don't carry out one better arrangement to clear Kumbodoro Forest and the villages where near the forest for Bauchi State. Them see some bandits kill and they scatter their camp. The operation gets support from Air Force people too. Them target big bandit hideouts like Azuge camps and it weaken the criminals so say they no fit operate well again. And as it be so, they go reduce to they disturb people for now. As they enter the place, they rescue 8 people where bandits don't kidnap before. Still on top military matter, Nigeria government don't deny say no be them they give gun and bullets to Boko Haram. People where them be active or be repentant Boko Haram, them talk say that claim no be true at all. I no get proof. They clear this doubt after one viral video we don't waka reach everywhere. They show one foreign vlogger where they talk to some people for place where them talk say in a rehabilitation center, and they show some people where they hold gun. Brigadier General Yusuf Ali, where they in charge of Operation Safe Corridor, talk say people don't turn upside down. Waiting the video they talk about. And the video itself no show the main matter where the program and the rehabilitation center they talk about. They say the video and waiting people they talk no match. And that one means say everything for the video and waiting people don't hear for internet now lie. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu don't promise say federal government go support families of 11 security officers where bandits killed for Shanghai local government area of Kebbi State. Vice President Kashim Shettima stand for Oga Presido for Bernie Kebbi go do condolence visit to those people who lost their people wey be soldier. Shettima say Oga Presido talk say he dey sorry well for the bad thing wey don't happen and he called the Kwayi matter barbaric act. He also praised the mind where those soldiers get and the way they give their life to fight for the people. For another story, as Nigeria they prepare for 2027 general election, European Union self they prepare how women go fit get leg for politics. They join hands with groups like Policy and Legal Advocacy Center and Nigerian Women Trust Fund. Do one better big meeting for Abuja. Many people attend. Lawmakers, civil society people, development partners, all of them go the meeting, go yarn how women go fit get leg, stand well for politics. ADC delegates will come from all the 36 states for Nigeria and FCT don't agree join body to support the National Working Committee where former Senate President Davido Mark they lead. Them do this one for the party national convention where happened for Abuja yesterday. This decision don't show say the new leader structure now confirm one based on waiting the party national executive committee don't first talk before. For inside the convention yesterday, they pursue some of their members like Nafi Ubala, Leke Abeji, and others come up from the party say they work against the party. Everywhere can hurt small as some people start to argue, they drag. Who supposed to lead the party and where the party go carry leg waka go? The argument make the convention scatter for small time, but later everywhere can calm down. And they agree for waiting they talk. They can still agree say they go change some important things for the party constitution. Where we carry the story reach Obodo Igbo. Pakistan Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif done ready to go waka for 4 days. Make he visit Saudi Arabia, Qatar and Turkey to try revive talks between United States and Iran. Make he for follow them yarn, make they settle matter. Pakistan Foreign Ministry talks say the trip from April 15 reach 18 include meetings for Saudi Arabia and Qatar. For Turkey side, Sharif go attend Antalya Diplomacy Forum and meet President Recep Tayyip Erdogan and other world leaders. Now all the story we will bring for you today be that. My name is Siddiqat Yusuf. Make I
S24 News Rundown. Please do join us tomorrow same time as you follow us on all our social media platforms at S24 Television. My name is Zainab Ibrahim.